Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
What's going on, friends?
What's cracking? My voice.
What's cracking?
What's crack?
What's going on, guys? My name's Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me as always. We're popping in. You know, it's just draft week.
It is draft week.
We just argued about Mac Jones again for an hour. This is it. This is the final go around on Mac Jones.
Every other week, I feel like we do this.
It's the pre-draft situation because
we should. I was thinking about this. We should have just made it a mini clip, not a clip, but like a show, like a 20-minute episode.
Yeah.
Of just
Mac Jones versus everyone else.
Yeah. Like, what's your take on Mac Jones? And it's just us going back and forth for like 15 minutes.
See, my opinions on Mac Jones are entire. I feel like we haven't at all talked about Mac Jones fantasy-wise.
But we agree on that, so it would be boring.
It would be totally boring.
Yeah.
It would be totally boring. So anyway, welcome to Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Today, as you saw in the title, as you saw in the description, as you saw on the graphic, we're talking about our top 5 rookie running back rankings, the final pre-draft rankings before we hop into post-draft coverage of the running back position, wide receiver position, everything really. So we're pumped to give you those. Nothing really changed, so this should be a relatively brief program.
I think we actually do have one difference
on ours, or
yeah.
Okay,
it's so minor.
So it should be interesting to see where things kind of come out on this. But before we jump into that, go to any social media platform and follow us on those.
Yeah.
The FF Champs, Fantasy Champions, whatever.
Probably just going to see a lot of Mac Jones love and then a lot of Mac Jones hate.
I don't think I tweeted about Mac. Well, you know what? I lied about that.
I don't tweet about him, but I like
you
things
like
that dislike it.
People.
Just to fuel the
I saw
fire.
you going after Kevin today.
What did I go after Kevin? Oh, because he doesn't want Fields. It wasn't really that. We were just messing around with him.
It's fine. It's fine. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, leave a review. It really is simple. Like, it just take your time out of it doesn't take any time out of your day. Literally, wherever you're listening, if you're mowing the lawn right now, if you're preparing for the draft,
you're at work.
Your draft party, you're at work.
Wanting to kill yourself.
Pull out your phone. Leave a review. And then text your friends and be like, wow, I got this podcast. Not in the fantasy football league with you guys, but you should listen to it. So do that. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, like and comment down below. Keep blowing it up on YouTube because the more YouTube subscribers you get, the more people watch your videos. The more people watch your videos, the more content we create for you guys.
Exactly.
So, because it's about the content. It's not about the cheddar.
It's about the championships.
On the championships. Yeah, the fantasy champions. So let's jump into our top 5 rookie running backs after about 4 minutes of nonsense. So I'm just going to give you my previous OG rankings than when we first released them. I had Najee Harris 1, Travis Etienne 2, Javonte Williams 3, Kenny Gainwell 4, and then Chuba Hubbard 5. Who would you have, my dude?
I don't have it listed, but
I never have it listed.
No, I did last week.
You're not prepared.
I had Harris 1.
Oh, that's true. I forgive you.
I had Williams 2, Etienne 3. I think I had Michael Carter 4, and I think I also had Hubbard 5. Yeah, I had Hubbard 5.
Okay. So we're going to talk about, the minor differences that we have here for either or any of these. And then we might talk about some guys that are a little bit off board. But I've got I moved some guys way down. Like backup running back in the NFL down. So
yikes.
Yeah. Anyway, so the first guy on both of our list is Najee. Yep. Nothing changed there. I saw PFF has their quarterback rankings from top to bottom. They have Javonte 1
for their running backs.
Yes. And then Najee 2. Najee's going 101 in non-superflex leagues, right?
Sometimes. It's kind of it's Kyle Pitts. It's
Jamar Chase the other day. So
Najee Harris. It's Travis Etienne. It's Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
All over the place.
Yeah. So I've said this about Najee Harris before. He's basically just Derrick Henry with pass catching ability.
Yeah, but a poor man's Henry.
Yeah, okay.
To be
all right.
fair,
That is fair enough.
he's not Derrick Henry.
He's
to me.
not Derrick. Yeah,
But he's got that sort of ability. He's a big physical runner, very talented. Everybody talks about the hurdle, which I think got overblown a little bit. That he did. Was that in the national championship game?
Shows that he's athletic.
Yeah. I know, but people are like, "Oh, best running back of all time." Like I knew when it happened because I watched that game live, and I was when that happened, I'm like, "Oh God, this guy's gonna go in like the top 20 now." Just off that one play, but yeah, no, he is a better pass catcher than Derrick Henry, which is good, and it's something that I have tried to look into, which is we'll get to this player later, but I think pass catching is important. But he's kind of everybody in this draft the most complete running back as well, where he is a talented runner.
Right.
He can pass catch, he can block, he can do all these things. So and PFF pointed this out.
I can't even have the analysis because it signs me out every freaking week. PFF, work on your systems.
The only thing that is a little concerning, I've seen people talk about this and why he's some people's RB2 or even 3.
Yeah.
And it's PFF's big thing. It's speed. His speed is like, it's not great. But I'm not too worried about that. I think you can still be a good running back without having insane speed. I think you need good speed, but you don't need to be Lightning McQueen. So
it would be one hell of a thing if he ran a 40-yard dash.
He doesn't want to.
But
he player comp Joe Mixon, kind of fair.
I mean, when you talk about a running back, he was a top recruit coming out of high school, and he had a grade of PFF grade of 90, 88, and 89 in his 3 years in college football. Like, that's freaking ridiculous.
He's been good, man. 26 touchdowns, by the way. This year.
Yeah, PFF has him too, and they say he's going to go in the 3rd round.
He's going to go higher than that.
He's going to probably go early to mid-second. What do you think?
I think you could even go in the 1st.
Now, is he the bona fide 101 for you? Not in terms of the draft, just not 101. The bona fide number 1 running back in this class.
Yes, but my opinion has
no argument.
Last time we had this discussion about running backs, was it like a month ago now?
Yeah.
To me, it was Harris, big gap. Then it was Williams, kind of a big gap. Then it was Etienne, and then big gap for another. Like there was a gap between each guy. To me now, that's completely changed. Like all 3 is like
they're kind of
one
the same
tier
conversation.
So I wouldn't say it's super definitive, but he is my number 1 guy.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I watch Najee and I see him.
To be honest, though, like, do you think it could change on landing spot?
Yeah.
See, for me, originally it would not have changed no matter what. Harris, like, he could have gone to the Jets. He would have been my guy. Now, I think it could change on landing spot because I think all 3.
If they all go to the perfect landing spot, I would take Najee.
Yep.
If Najee went to, like, last year there were a lot of landing spots for the running back position that were like Jonathan Taylor to Indianapolis, and
the
J.K.
Chiefs were
Dobbins
like, who's one of the Chiefs?
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins to Baltimore was like
the Lions gross.
They're all really good. They were all the Lions too. They were all good landing spots for the players, but there was just a guy there who was holding on to that workload, and you didn't know if he was going to get it, and everyone was fighting over who the best guy was, and I'm like, these guys got to take over the job. I'm surprised that every single one did it. So if Najee's in a situation where he ends up in a good landing spot but has to fight for a job, and then Javonte goes to a place where he's getting the workload, and Travis Etienne, ask me after the draft.
Now that the offseason has kind of developed as well, James Conner is on the Cardinals, so the Steelers spot is wide open. I mean, if someone goes to the Steelers, that feels like the Chiefs of last year for landing spot.
Don't do that to me, because then I'll draft him in the 2nd round. I'll get way too excited.
Yeah, don't get too excited.
Honestly, Najee's a 3-down back. If he goes to the Steelers,
that's what I mean.
He might end up being like Clyde last year. That's how high he would fly up boards, in my opinion.
Yep.
So yeah, Najee, to me, it would take a very, very bad landing spot. Like if the Packers decided they need another running back, I would quit fantasy football altogether.
Jamal Williams replacement.
Yeah, Jamal Williams replacement.
That'd be great.
I could see him drafting
the Washington football team.
Chuba.
Have you seen those rumors? The Washington football team.
Oh, get out of here, bro.
It's not like I don't think it's real, but there's been people to suggest it.
I would legitimately fight somebody if that happened. I would get so mad. Anyway, so the next 2 guys we're going to talk about conjointly. We both have.
Hey, this is our difference.
Is this the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, or I was going to say we both have them the same, but this is our difference. Now, I don't know even if it is my difference.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
so
I
close.
could go either way too. Yeah. Exactly.
So right now, the big three this year, and I personally, in my humble opinion, think the only three guys that are going to work out in this class
are these three
guys.
Yeah.
So Harris and Etienne and Williams are the number 2 and 3 guys on both of our lists.
They may
Rick,
be somebody who like flies under the radar.
I have Etienne too.
Yeah, I have Williams too.
You have Williams too, and then I have Williams three.
And then I have Etienne 3. But honestly,
made
like
it more confusing.
I could like depending on landing spot. Etienne is my number 3 guy. Depending on landing spot, he could like if he gets drafted by the Steelers, he might be my number 1.
So
like
Etienne scares the hell out of me because he literally
that's why he's number 3 on my list.
And I like him a lot. I think he's talented. I think he's very good. I think his balance is great. I think he does everything extremely well. This is very friendly.
His weight.
Yeah, his weight is very friendly on Player Profiler. If you go on PFF, it's 205.
And they gave him 10 pounds extra.
They gave him 10 pounds extra on Player Profiler. He's really good. He's graded really good at Clemson.
Not a great year, though.
He did not have a great year, but he's still in 2020. In 2018, 2019, he had 2 really good seasons. But the big thing for me is that Rick told me on the last show when I had, what was it, Chuba and the other guy at 3, 4, and 5. I don't remember who the other guy I had there was.
You had Chuba.
Was it Kenneth Gainwell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just told you what they were, and you're probably looking at me at home watching on YouTube like this guy's an idiot. But Michael Carter is essentially, depending on which one you look at, Michael Carter, who we'll talk about in a little bit, is 5'8", 205 on Player Profiler and 5'8", 199 on PFF. So when I look at Carter and I look at Etienne, like, where is the difference between these two guys? And obviously everyone's going to be like, well, this is what he does better. And obviously, I get it. I understand. Etienne is not a way better, but a better running back than Michael Carter.
Yeah.
But when you're telling me that Travis Etienne, in terms of his weight, his size, his quickness, everything, like, it makes me wonder. I'm for running backs, I'm all about size. I'm all about, you got to be that 5'10", 220, 215, 220 in order to be.
Why don't you like Javonte Williams more?
Oh, I love Javonte Williams. This is what I'm explaining why. I'm explaining why. So Etienne, I think for me, he has a common Player Profiler of DeAndre Swift. And they call him on PFF this is NFL comp for them, a more elusive Lamar Miller. He can pass catch, which is great. He rushes the ball very effectively. His biggest issue for me is just, I would say, the size.
Yeah.
And he's a little... no, he's not slow, is he?
So my thing with...
But the reason why I have... Just to go quickly through this,
yeah,
we'll talk about Javonte. The reason why I have Javonte a little bit lower on the list is because I think he's going to be a fantastic rusher. He graded as one of the best rushers in the country last year, according to PFF. His big thing is he was a good pass catcher this year, 24 receptions. You want to be right around 25 receptions in order to be a good pass catcher, essentially, in the NFL for it to translate. I'm very, very concerned that he is this is what I was looking for. 3 drops on 27 catchable passes this season, not the greatest ball skills. So if he ends up getting in the pro game and he gets, a 3-down workload, but he's not getting pass catching work similar to like Henry, it's gonna limit his ceiling because there's only one team in the NFL that's gonna give him 300 carries, and that Tennessee. Yeah. So or Pittsburgh. But for me, that's why he's a little bit lower right now, because Travis Etienne coming into the pro game, if he has the ability to rush the football and pass catch, it's a double whammy for me. So that's why I have him too. Fantasy wise, NFL wise, I'd probably take Javonte over Travis. But anyway,
I've come around on Etienne. Again, he's still number 3 on my list, so he hasn't changed. But I do think highly of him, and higher than I did before.
Yeah.
The pass catching I think is very important. Out of these 3 guys, he is the best pass catcher. Very elusive. I love the DeAndre Swift comp as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big Swift guy. I think last year when we did this show, I think I had Swift as my top guy. I want to say.
Interesting.
And you had Taylor, right?
Yeah, JT.
It was JT. I had JT and Swift, and you had JT and Dobbins, I believe. But anyway, and it seemed like we were both right. Yeah, no. Etienne, though, I have come around. I remember watching that playoff game against Ohio State. He was so bad. And there was even plays there. I mean, the offensive line was not good, didn't help him, but he had 10 carries for 32 yards, which was actually better than I thought. But it just didn't.
It's better than you thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is still not good.
It's not good.
Yeah, because that's what it felt like all game. He was just getting stuffed. And in his scouting report, I believe it said too, like he likes to look for the hole or like bounces it outside for his negative things.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Yeah,
gets caught looking for the bounce out, which will not fly in the NFL, which is exactly correct. He does stuff like that all the time. So as a pure runner, I just like Williams, and I like Harris.
I think Williams is probably a better. He's a one year wonder kind of guy, whereas ETN has been good for a couple plus years.
ETN is also going to landing spot is going to matter probably the most of the three guys.
I agree. I was about to say that. His when you look at 2018, 2019, when they had one of the best offensive lines in the country, he had 8.1, 7.8 yards per carry. This year, the offensive line got hit. A lot of guys went into the NFL draft. They didn't really, not that they didn't recruit well, but they just didn't have a good offensive line this year, and he had 923 rushing yards, which on 166 attempts is 5.6 yards per carry, which in the college game is just not good.
They have him as a second round, though, higher than Harris.
It's because he graded better.
Well, yeah.
Actually, that's a lie. He didn't grade better.
I love Williams. I've seen people compare him to Dalvin Cook, which is just not fair. And I've said this.
I like the comp on here is on PFF is bigger Aaron Jones, which I like.
Oh, I love that too. But yeah, I've seen Dalvin Cook. I don't think that's fair. That's putting a lot on him. Dalvin Cook is a top 3 running back in the NFL. I don't think Javonte Williams will be that. But you could make the argument he could be a poor man's Dalvin Cook. Like, you remember, and we've talked about this many times before. Yeah. When we saw Dalvin Cook the year he broke out, the burst he had coming out of the backfield. Yeah. Yep. Javonte Williams has that same thing. He loves to hit people. He's a physical guy, but he can also break tackles in other ways because he's more elusive than people think. The pass catching does, as you said, concern me as well. Right. The 3 drops, and that's why he's not number 1 for me. With fantasy, you kind of need to be able to catch the football. 24 catches isn't bad though. And I also, one last thing, it's not a huge deal, but I do like his age. He's 2 years younger than Najee Harris, and for a running back, that kind of does matter a little bit, considering running backs usually flame out by the time they're like 27, 28.
Right. There is another there's another fella in this class who everyone.
Oh, who's that guy from Michigan?
His name is Chris Evans. He's going to be
almost 24 years old.
Look at these grades, dude.
Why is he even that high? He's higher than Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, there was another guy that everyone has been talking about who actually has a good comp, but he's just so friggin' old that it's not that he's old, but like if you're coming in the NFL and you're a freaking
27th round player.
Seriously, if you're 24 years old, essentially coming into your pro, I think it was Ramondre Stevenson. If you're like 23, 24 coming into the NFL, like it's just not.
It hurts.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the biggest knocks on Harris.
When running backs only have like 4 years in the NFL, it is a big. Not when they only have 4 years.
4 to 6 years.
You know what? I'm not going
to
save myself for the comments here. We usually 4 years of dominance. Yeah. So like when you're 23 years old, that hits. So, I mean, you know, it does have an issue, but I really do like Javonte. I mean, he so funny. I was looking at the numbers. He was first in missed tackles. He was 5th in yards after contact in college football. He's 2nd in 27. I mean, he had 27, 15-plus yards or more carries, which is 2nd in college football. You know the number 1?
Who?
His teammate. Michael Carter.
So
and he was 12th in yards per route run. So he actually did very good. He did very, very good this season. The concern,
best running back in college football probably.
The concern for I think he graded the highest according to PFF. But the concern for him is that the years before he averaged 5.2 yards per carry, 5.7 yards per carry. Yeah. He just wasn't the same running back, and he graded pretty good in 2019, but he just wasn't great. So I don't know what the difference was between 2019 and 2020. What conference do these guys play in?
ACC, right?
I think so. So
yeah, it's ACC.
I think does the competition affect it a little bit? Maybe. Yeah. But it depends with him. So I think for me, running backs in the NFL really all about landing spot. If you have the ability, which most of these guys do coming out, I look at them not
out of every position, you can make the argument it's the most important for fantasy.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the landing spot.
Right, exactly. So if he goes to a good place, I'll be pumped. Right now, the only two we had like a bunch of landing spots listed on the last program. I don't want to talk about landing spots, but because we'll find out on Thursday or
we will
this weekend. For that,
that's
matter.
crazy.
But
that's true. Most of these guys,
but
probably
like
won't
Pittsburgh, Miami, and some others are looking for running backs right now. And the fact there's only 3 in the class, there's going to be a lot of guys to fill holes here. So we'll definitely see. The next guy that we had, what is your 4th guy? Is it Williams?
It is also Michael Carter.
Is it Michael Carter?
Yep.
So I have Michael Carter 4, and I'm looking at the wrong list, so I'm going to scroll down. I moved Michael Carter from probably like 6 or 7 to 4, and it's the only thing that concerns me is his weight. He's got to put some poundage on his body because he's small. But he rated as the number 4 running back in college football last year. His teammate, was the first quarterback according to the PFF grade.
Running back, second time you said that.
Oh, I said quarterback twice.
Yeah.
See, we've been talking about quarterbacks.
I know we talked about him too much.
So, but anyway, he's the 4. He was graded
Fantastic.
the 4th best running back in the country. Which was fantastic. I like a lot of his ability. The big thing for me with running backs when I watch them on film is 2 things. A, do linebackers and defensive players bounce off the player?
Yep, that's
which
a good.
Javonte does really well.
Yep.
And then the second thing is contact balance. Like when you watch Kamara play in the NFL, and
True.
like he trips and he just has this elite balance.
Yeah.
One of the things that Michael Carter is one of his pluses is contact balance. He has a strong lower half. So I think when you look at a guy like Michael Carter, he does have this ability to pass catch. He has this ability to rush the football. He was really good this past season, getting 7.9 yards per carry. I don't like attributing buying into 2 running backs in the same college.
Yeah.
But I have him number 4 because I watching him on film, looking at his numbers, looking at everything for him in the scouting report, like he really does look like the 4th best running back in the class.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I think there's a drop off.
There's going to be another guy.
It's Michael Carter.
It's Michael Carter.
Yep, I agree with that. There is a little bit of a drop off though, for me between him and ETN. I do like PFF said stop and start ability as his biggest strength. I love that in the NFL for a running back. But man, he's
weird to watch though on film.
Very weird to watch. I was just.
It looked like he was either moving really slow or everyone else was like really slow. I don't know if I explained that properly, but
when
I just watched him, I'm like, you look slow as molasses, and then guys would fall on their face when he jukes, and I'm like, what's going on here?
No, he did look slow, and I think his 40 time was good, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Out of it. It's 4.59.
Yeah, no, I have it here, which is good, but. Like, I don't know, he does feel like he runs like a 4.5, 4.6 when you watch him on film, which for a 5'8 running back, you kind of were hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah.
But no, I think he could be a really good 3rd down back and have some fantasy value. He's a good pass catcher.
Right.
Has that kind of Alvin Kamara ability, like you said, where he just has that balance, which I think is important as well in the next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like Michael Carter, but I don't think he's ever going to be a workhorse. I mean, I'll be very surprised if he ends up being
that's
a workhorse type.
That's fair. I mean, he had when you get 150 and 177 carries in 2 years as like a starter, but he wasn't really starting. It's not a lot of work, so the sample size was not huge for him. But he did, like I said, he led the country in last year in 15 plus yards or more, which is awesome. He was 7th in yards after contact, 7th in missed tackles. So he was basically the second, and he had 1 drop. So, you know what I mean? He was basically like truly that second best running back on the. How did they get 2 really good running backs last year? What did they do to their offensive line? That's a very strange situation. But I think he's definitely 4 for me. After this point, it's a cluster. Now, I had Chuba. I didn't even rank Michael Carter in my top. And I had Chuba Hubbard in my top 5. Just so you know, Chuba Hubbard is now 10. He's gone,
bro. Come on.
See you later.
He's not my guy.
He was, I know. I like him a lot. But anyway, for me, the 5th guy on my list is Kenneth Gainwell. Is that for you?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I do think there's another huge drop at this point. Like, huge. Like,
Yeah.
At this point, all these guys to me are day 3 players.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I don't even want to spend a lot of time on it. And I had a tough time with this because there was one guy I did want to put ahead of him, and it was Khalil Herbert. I don't mind him, and I really like Elijah Mitchell, who I have 8. I might put him ahead of Trey Sermon, who's at 7. But
Trey Sermon.
Yeah, dude.
Trey Sermon, bro.
It's
Is it actually Trey Sermon?
I have no idea. But anyway, I put Gainwell 5 because he is going to be a pass catching back. He's going to be very similar to James White or Tariq Cohen.
He'll have a role in the NFL.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like if he gets a lot of pass catching work, it'll be valuable for PPR. But in a full in a standard league or in a half PPR setting, if he really doesn't get 70 catches, he's completely worthless in fantasy for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of my opinion on
Gainwell. He could, depending on landing spot, depending on how good his peak is as a player, he could, his top strength is route running. He comes from the same school as Antonio Gibson. He was the starting running back ahead of Antonio Gibson.
Sorry for that noise.
I think it's possible that he could be an NFL running back and be at least fantasy relevant. I'm just not crazy about him.
Now, is there any guy, before we end the show, is there any guy in this class that you looked at that you were like, okay, this is like last year Antonio Gibson started out as he's going to be a wide receiver in the NFL, not going to be a running back, this, that, and a third, that can come out and be this new Antonio Gibson that flies up draft boards? Yeah, it was Ramondre Stevenson, by the way, the old guy. He's literally 246 pounds and 6 feet tall.
Yeah, maybe Felton, but okay. I'm still not even crazy about it. I would be shocked if any of these guys.
Yeah.
Felton just his grades are
wide receiver could still play there.
His grades are gross, and to be honest, he wasn't that impressive as a running back, but he does have that receiving type, great pass catcher. But yeah, even him, I'm like,
okay, so let's take quickly, and then we'll end the show. Let's take Carter, Etienne, Najee, Javonte, and Kenneth Gainwell off. Get rid of them. Of the guys that are not named them, Khalil Herbert, Trey Sermon, forget about Chris Evans, Polka Williams. Who the heck is that? Elijah Mitchell, Ramondre Stevenson, Dimitri Felton. These are all. Which guy do you like the most out of that group?
Busts to me. Bro, I'm going off the board. I'm sticking with my boy. Chuba.
Oh, you're going with Chuba? I'm going to say Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
I like him a lot. 218, 5'11".
Definitely not Jamar Jefferson, who I originally said was okay in the
Jameer Jefferson.
Yeah,
and then he ran hold on a second.
Did I say Justin Jefferson?
You almost said Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, his pro day though was awful.
Hold on, I want to give you the numbers.
When you told me about that on the podcast, because I didn't know.
You were shocked. So yeah, there was a lot of things that people were like, okay, maybe we can get away with this guy. 4.65 40-yard dash, 32nd percentile.
Could not great, but not the worst.
21st percentile speed score. Burst score, really 14th percentile. Agility score,
even worse.
14%. So you look at these numbers and you're like, okay, you know what? He's probably a power back. Big guy, power.
Yeah, that's not bad. If he's a power
13th bench, 13 bench press reps, 5th percentile.
That's not good.
So, but you look at some of these numbers. A college
13
dominator
bench reps is better than me. And what is it? What is it? 275?
Yeah, something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but he
not for an NFL running back.
Yeah, but he even came in people thought he was going to be, according to PFF, their weight for Jameer Jefferson was 217. He weighed in at 206. So he's small, slow.
Jamal Williams, perfect comp.
Pretty much not good at anything at this point. 6th round running back.
Well, see, and that's see his scouting report has a lot of skills to like. That's why I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
And then
but he's just not going to be a pro NFL running back featured in offenses. So there's your top 5: Najee Harris, Travis Etienne. Oh, I was like, I could hear the music in my head, but I was like, where's the music? Yeah, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, and Kenneth Gainwell. Me and Rick swap Javonte and Travis Etienne. Sorry.
Yep.
So that'll do it. Thursday, we got a lot coming to you. Be sure to watch.
Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.